Good morning. This is May the 26th, Monday 2025. We are in BBIS second semester English class. Before the camera opened, we had a short talk about the misuse of mobile phone in the class. Somebody used a mobile phone. I had to spend 5 minutes time educating about mobile etiquette. There is a chapter in business communication called mobile etiquette that teaches how to use mobile, when to use mobile, and how not to use mobile. So learn that etiquette. So I was talking about this lesson, creative destruction. What I will do now, we have half an hour. I will quickly take you through the lessons and tell you what is there. So the first story, creative destruction, the risky business of going against the grain. Here you read about 4 students, right? You read about 4 students who set out to revolutionize an industry. So now we will understand what kind of people bring revolution in society. Who are the people who bring revolution, like Newton, Einstein, or Prachanda in your country? Like he did Kranti. So what people do Kranti? We read that these students, they were, one of them was wearing a damaged pair of glasses. He could not buy new glasses because the glass company Luxottica, which was monopolizing the market, they were selling glasses at a very high price, right? So what did he think? So he had a plan, these boys had a plan to topple down Luxottica, right? You know the story, I won't tell the story. He tells his friends the story. He tells his idea. And what happens? They criticized. So do not be discouraged by criticism if your gut says you are on the right track. If your gut says, I am on the right path, do not be discouraged by what people say. Listen to your gut, not people. Right? Okay. They have no background. What is going against the grain? Look, the title is Going Against the Grain. Look, these students had no background in business, e-commerce, and technology. So, business and technology was not their area. But they ventured. So, going against the grain means doing something that is completely new to you. Enter a new area. This means? Taking risk. Risk taking is at the heart of success in anything. But as you read below the other chapters, you will see, if you just take risks, it's not enough. You must manage a risk portfolio. What is managing risk portfolio? Have a safe option. Have a safe option. If this fails, I'll do this. For example, these students, while they were having this business, they also had other secondary jobs. They were doing job. They had secondary income source. If this fails, we'll survive. Have a safe stepping stone. If you fall, you step there, right? So what do? They decide to sell $500 glasses for $95. Not only that, to donate one pair upon the purchase of another pair, right? Look, second thing you learn, how to achieve success? You have to have preparation for this. You have to have assets. They need a website. They did not have a website even on the day they were going to launch the product. They finished making the website that night, the previous night. By 4, they finished the website in February 2010, right? Another is, learning by imitating. How did they name their company? Warby Parker. They did a novel. They came across 2 characters. How were these characters? They were rebellious, rebelling, going against the norms. These characters were full of spirit, infusing it into their culture. So they learned this rebellion attitude, doing something new from these characters. And they named the company accordingly, right? Okay. Now I won't go into the story. You know the story somebody has presented. What I will go here, I'll highlight these words. Conformity. What is conformity? Agreeing to what is given in your life. Being happy with what you have. Conformity. This is what my father taught me as I was a child. Every morning, evening when I was in the kitchen to have my food. My father was the cook. So he would cook and he would offer the food, and then I'll sit down to eat. And sometimes, I would ask for more. I'll ask for more. And there was no food in the pot, no food. And I'll ask for more. I was the son, asking more to my daddy. More food. Bhokla hai, badi chahiye. What my father will say, I never forget. Santosam paramam sukham. He taught me when I was 8 years old. Be happy with what you have. Now as I read this lesson, now I feel that was a wrong lesson he taught me. He taught me, be happy with what you have. That is conformist. Conform, agree to what is given. Say, okay, fine. They teach, do not be happy with what you have. Look for more. Look for more. Don't be happy with what you have. Then you will develop. Right? Originality. Do not do what people are doing. Do something which nobody is doing. Nobody was selling glasses online, so we would sell them. Right? In a sense, I like this because I guess I am the first teacher in this country, who uploads his classes unedited every day. You Google and check, nobody does that. I let people see what I'm doing in my class. People were telling me, don't do this. You will have this problem, that problem. I have no problem. Right? Now others are following now. I've seen some of my students are doing that. Right? Okay, move ahead. Then, what is originality? Introducing unusual idea. Recording your own class, transcribing, going back home, watching it back, reflecting, right? In education. Okay, so that's the story. This book is about how we can all become more original. Now I'll move to next story quickly. Finding the fault in default. What is default? Default means the given. The given. These 4 students had the default. What was the default? Lakshotika was the default in eyewear industry. The given. Because Lakshotika controlled 80% of eyewear industry. Default, given. Everybody was purchasing glasses from their company. Wherever you go, it's Lakshotika. Right? How did they find the fault? They found the fault that Lakshotika was controlling 80% of the market. So, Lakshotika was monopolizing. Lakshotika could decide their price. Lakshotika could decide their price themselves. Why? Because they had full control over the industry. So what was the fault? Monopoly, economic fault, monopoly. Monopoly. They can price their glasses as much as they like because they fully control the industry. So what did they say? Okay, if they control the industry and take a decision, we will take our decision. If they decide to sell at 500 per pair, we will sell them at 95 per pair. challenging. What is finding the fault? What is default? Default is given. Lakshotika. The given has a problem. The given has a problem. What problem? It is too expensive. They themselves couldn't afford. They themselves couldn't afford. Problem. Now once you have a problem, what do? Look for the cause of the problem. Explore the cause. What is the cause? Monopoly is the cause. Lakshotika can sell at such a high price because it controls the whole market. What to do now? Challenge the market. Finding fault in default. Okay. Okay. Here the story, I won't go into the story. The story is about, the story begins with a problem. There is a company and some employees in the company, they stay longer, some leave quickly. And they want to find out, why do people leave quickly and why do some people stay longer in a company? For example, I have stayed at LSM for 9 years. It is the 9th year. I came here in 2016. Every job I do in my last 35 years, all the schools and colleges I joined, I have stayed at least 10 years there. But I see that I haven't stayed more than 10 years. So maybe next year, possibly chances are I might quit LSEM because it's the 10th year. And my life story says that every 10 years I change my job place. But I don't know if I will do it. Now, I am an example that I can't bring a revolution because I'm happy with what is given. I'm happy with the salary here. I'm happy with the building here. I'm happy with the behavior here. I'm not dissatisfied. That's why I'm not earning more. For the last 8 years, I'm earning almost the same salary because I'm happy with it. Look here. Now, there are other people. There were other people in our college here. They left earlier. They went elsewhere. They look for options. They are earning more. So why some employees stay longer? Why others quit earlier? A long story cut short. The answer is here. The answer is here. Let me show the answer. Those employees which left earlier and went to another company, they were not happy with what they had. And they took initiative to change their situation. For example, when they saw that the operating system doesn't work, they won't go with the pre-installed system. They will look for new options because they were not happy with they were not happy with the situation. They will initiate change. They will explore options, right? Look here. And this behavior, the customer service agents who accepted the defaults of Internet Explorer and Safari approached their job the same way. They stayed on script in sales calls and followed standard operating procedures for handling customer complaints. They saw their job descriptions as fixed. So when they were unhappy with their work, they started missing the days and eventually just quit. The employees who took the initiative to change, look here. The people who used Safari, they took things as fixed. They thought we cannot change it. It is given. So they will change the job. Right? Whereas those who used Chrome, what they thought? They thought that if there is a problem, we can fix it. Right? Read here. Firefox, Chrome approached their jobs differently. They looked for novel ways of selling to customers and addressing their concerns when they encountered a situation they didn't like. They fixed it. Having taken the initiative to improve their circumstances, they had little reason to leave. They created the jobs they wanted, but they were the exception, not the rule. I guess I made a slight mistake. I don't know. Can somebody find where I made a mistake? I have made a slight mistake in my explanation. Can somebody find if you have read the story? In my explanation, I made a slight mistake. Can somebody find? Here is homework. This evening, find what mistake I made in this class in my explanation. And tomorrow, who will tell the mistake? Raise your hand. Who will tell my mistake? Raise your hand if you can tell my mistake tomorrow. Himani will tell my mistake. So Himani will explore this class I taught today. She will read the chapter. I made a mistake. She will find the mistake and she will do the class my mistake today, right? So here the point is that there are two types of people. One, who take their situation as given. We can't change it. We can't change it. We can do nothing. Those people quit the job and went elsewhere. Whereas those people who thought we can fix the problem, they fixed the problem and they didn't leave the office early. So those people who took initiatives, who believed they can control their situation, they can fix issues, they stayed longer. Whereas those employees who thought things are given, things are fixed, we can do nothing, they quit. Okay, move ahead. The core idea is that people are motivated to rationalize the status quo as legitimate. Ask a question. Why there is so much corruption in Nepal and why there is no new revolution? I keep thinking. यत्रो भ्रष्टाचार भइरहेछ देशमा दिनदिनै 50 लाख भन्छ के भन्छ जनता किन उठ्दैन त मान्छे किन सडकमा आउँदैन यस्तो भ्रष्टाचारको विरुद्ध here is an answer. Even if it goes, what happens, people say that what is there is okay. Nobody likes change. Very people like change. People don't like change. ठिकै छ नि जैसे कि को अब सडकमा जाने को गोली खान जाने कोले आन्दोलन गर्ने भाइको घरै बस्ने सेफ साइड. Status quo means the given. They say that this is legal. It's okay, right? And even if it goes against their interest, right? Right now in Nepal, political system is very corrupt. But nobody opposes that corruption. Why? Because they think the given is okay. They have this psychology. The given is okay. Why do you stand against that? Okay, now move ahead. Read this line. Justifying the default system serves a soothing function. When you are happy with the given, when you are happy with the given, what happens? You feel comfortable. You feel comfortable. Look, this Divakar sir. I come at LSM for the 9 years. I don't want any change in my life. I don't want to earn more money. I don't want to join a bigger college. Why? Because it's comfortable. It's comfortable. That's what it says. That's what it says. You grow only when you walk out of your comfort zone. You grow only you walk out of your comfort zone. So please write one thing in your life. I will not live a comfortable life. I will not do the easy things. I will not do the same thing for a long time. I will write in my diary 10 things that are comfortable to me, and I'll make sure I do not continue them. I will begin something difficult. I'll begin something difficult. There's a movie, Caravan, directed by Eric Valli, the French director. In that movie, it's in Nepali, you watch on YouTube. There's one point. Thinley has 2 children, the eldest and the second. So the eldest dies in accident. So he goes to monastery because in Sherpa, all that Buddhist, the second child is given to monastery to become monk. So the second child is monastery. The first child dies. Father goes to monastery. He says, now you should come home and become the leader of the village to bring the salt from Tibet. Then the son says, Bua, हजुरले मलाई सानो उमेरमा यहाँ ल्याइसियो मोनास्ट्रीमा म यहीँ हुर्केँ, म बाहिर पाइला चालेको छैन, म हिउँमा टेकेको छैन, म कहीँ गएको छैन, मेरो हात कलिलो छ, खुट्टा कलिलो छ, म त यहाँ थाङ्का पेन्डिङ गरेर बस्छु। अब हजुरले मलाई चाहिँ याकको लिडिङ गर्न भन्नुहुन्छ, म यहाँबाट टिबेट कसरी जान सक्छु त? सक्छु म गर्न सक्दिनँ नि मैले। Then Finley, the father, becomes unhappy because he thinks somebody will take the leadership. He is so sad. But at that point, Finley's son, forgot his name, he thinks for a while and remembers one lesson of his teacher. Then he says, Daddy, बुवा म जान्छु तपाईसँग. Then father says, अघि त जान्न भनेको थियो, अब किन जान्छु? Then the son says, एउटा कुरा मैले सम्झेँ, मेरो गुरुले सिकाएको. के सिकाउनु भयो गुरुले? के सिकाएछ? हिँड्दै जाँदा दो बाटो आयो, दो बाटो हिँड्दै गएको छ, बाटो बाइफर्केट भयो, यहाँ छ र यता जाने कि यता जाने गाह्रो भयो डिसिजन गर्न। भने के गर्ने? कोही मान्छेलाई दुवै बाटोबारे सोच्ने, यो बाटो कहाँ जान्छ, यो कहाँ जान्छ, अब के गर्ने? त्यो दुईवटा बाटोमध्ये जुन अप्सन डिफिकल्ट छ त्यो रोज्ने भनेर गुरुले सिकाएको रहेछ. Always in life, when you have two choices, an easy option or difficult option, always choose the difficult option. Those people who choose the difficult option, they bring revolutions, they change, they grow. Those people who choose comfortable option, easy option, they are happy with the salary like Dibakar sir. So people like Dibakar sir choose easy option. They choose easy option. That's why they are at one place for 10 years. No growth. Always choose difficult options. What did I say? In life, always go with difficult option. And then the son says, okay, मेरो गुरुले सिकाएको दुईवटा बाटोमा गाह्रो बाटोमा हिँड्नु, म जान्छु. And he comes and he becomes a leader. Rest was the movie this afternoon. Wonderful movie. के movie? कसले हेरेछ? कसले हेरेछ? क्याराभान. युट्युबमा जाने CARAVAN टाइप गर्ने, एरिक भ्याली ERICVALLEY भ्याली, एरिक भ्याली डिरेक्टर. फेमस मुभी. मैले 20 वर्ष अगाडि हेरेको, 20 के 25 वर्ष अगाडि ज नेपालमा. सो के सिकेँ मैले त्यो मुभीबाट? अलवेज चुज डिफिकल्ट अप्सन. एउटा कुरा फलो गरेँ मैले. आई अलवेज चुज डिफिकल्ट सब्जेक्ट्स टु टिच. Like I teach logic, I teach philosophy, I teach other subjects. I even taught computer science here at LA. कति वर्ष अगाडि? 53, 63, 63, 73, 83 भनेपछि 27 वर्ष अगाडि. I was a computer teacher at LSEM 27 years before. And I taught programming. I did diploma in computer science 31 years before. I got that degree from first computer institute in Nepal. Nepal computer institute at Singh Darbar. 31 वर्ष डिप्लोमा गरेको मैले. And I became a teacher here. I taught for some time and quit. I came back to my English. So try the difficult thing. Do the difficult thing, right? It's always taking risk that develops you. Okay, move ahead. Now, look, what is the hallmark of originality? Rejecting the given. Rejecting the given. And exploring whether a better option exists. Do not be happy with what you have. Say, यो भन्दा राम्रो पाउँछ, and explore. Do not be happy with what you have. यो भन्दा राम्रो पढ्न सकिन्छ. Choose a subject. यहाँ एउटा नानी पढाउँथेँ मैले, नुमा फ्याक, BBIS मा. तिम्रो के लागि पढ, उता रुम थियो, अँध्यारो कोठा थियो. मैले किन भन्न, I want to talk about नुमा फ्याक. बोल्दै नबोल्ने नानी, एकदमै साइलेन्ट, कहिले नबोल्ने. BBIS पास गर्यो. अब के गर्ला यसले भन्थे मैले, सरप्राइज गराइदियो मलाई. UK गएर के अरे साइबर सिक्युरिटीमा मास्टर्स गर्यो. कम्प्लिटली न्यू एरिया. अप्सन BBIS गरेर कहाँ गयो फेरि साइबर सिक्युरिटीमा पढ्न गयो, युके पढ्न गयो, स्कलरसिप पाएर। लुक, उसले सजिलो खोज्यो भने त जागिर खान्थ्यो होला नि, होइन र? राइट? सो ओके, लुक फर अप्सन्स, बेटर अप्सन्स. How to start? Be curious. Be curious. There's one advertisement of Parle-G. There's one ad of Parle-G, Parle-G biscuit. I don't exactly remember, but line says, curiosity से बढ़कर कोई teacher नहीं. That's the line. That's the line. YouTube मा खोल्नुस् भेटिन्छ. Just type गर्नुस् Parle-G ad with curiosity भन्नुस् भेटिन्छ. There is no teacher better than your curiosity. If you are not curious, nobody can teach you. If you are curious, you are your own teacher. You don't need a teacher. Example, James Watt. James Watt passed class 1, passed class 2. When he was taken to class 3, he was sorry. He said he didn't like to study. So he will bunk school. Where would he go? He would go to his auntie's tea shop. And the whole day he would sit there doing nothing, bunking class. And in auntie's tea shop, there was a tea kettle on the coal fire. So the tea will boil and auntie will put the lid. One day, James Watt, he saw the boiling. So what did he put some coals on top. Again the lid was pushed up. He had a question. What is pushing this lid? And he developed the first steam engine of the world out of his curiosity. Out of his curiosity. And as we grow, we kill our curiosity. We stop raising questions. Thousands and millions of apples must have fallen on the heads of thousands of people before Newton. It was only Newton who raised the question, why the apple fell down, not up. That's why in science it is said, and questions are more important than answers. Questions are more important than answers. Because a right question leads to a discovery. So, there is a word, Vizarde and déjà vu. Read this line. What is Vizarde? I can't pronounce exactly, I don't know how this word is pronounced, the French word. Déjà vu. Read it. When the founders were sitting in the computer lab on the night they conjured up the company, eyewear company, they had spent a combined 60 years wearing glasses. The product had always been unreasonably expensive, but until that moment they had taken the status quo for granted, never questioning the default price. What is Bujade? Bujade is when you question the given. When you question the given and you see in a different light. When you see the normal in a different way. When you look at the normal in a different way. त्यही एप्पल संसारले हेर्दा ग्रेभिटीको थ्योरी नआउने, त्यही एप्पल न्युटनले हेर्दा ग्रेभिटी थ्योरी कसरी आउने? Look at the normal in an abnormal way. बुझादै भने त्यही हो. फरक तरिकाले हेर्ने. के सिकाए? Look differently. That's why look creatively. Look differently. Think out of the box. Every problem comes with a solution. The only thing is you have to have the eyes to see the solutions. Otherwise, every problem always comes wrapped up in a solution. Problems always come covered in solutions. But very few people know how to look for the solutions. They look only the problems. If you look for problems, you will always find the problems. But if you look for solutions, you will find solutions. So it depends on what are you looking for. Life is a problem. Okay, life will be problem for you. Life is a solution. Life will be solution for you. Right? Okay, move ahead. Problem and solution. Okay. Look, I said bujade. What is bujade? Looking at the ordinary thing in an extraordinary way. Look here over there. See here. This is the example. Bujade. Why did such a fundamentally simple product cost more than a complex smartphone? This is bujade. They looked at the glasses. Give me the glasses, someone. They looked at the glasses. They looked at the glasses. Bujade. What is bujade? Looking at the simple in a difficult way, in a different way. Looking at the normal in a very special way. Or normal glasses. Why are they more expensive than a smartphone? Looking at the same in a normal way. An answer comes, they are expensive more than a smartphone because Luxottica is monopolizing the whole industry. So if I enter the market, I can develop. There is a word in English called niche, N-I-C-H-E. Niche or niche, I don't know how to pronounce it. Niche means seeing the possibility somewhere. Seeing the possibility. Right? Okay, move ahead. Once they became curious about why the price was so steep, they began doing some research. Right? And they found that all monopoly of that. Now, the two faces of ambition. You know, why do people accept default? Why did I become the teacher? One reason I became a teacher was that from my 5 years of age, the moment I became conscious as a child, every day, every single day of my life, I saw my teacher, my father teaching somebody. So I took teaching as a default. I took teaching as a default. And my son says he will die but not become a teacher. Then I ask why? Then he says, नपढाउने किन तपाईं यस्तो रातभरि नसुतिन बस्ने पागल हुन्छ कोही? He has seen me spending nights sleepless preparing lessons. And he says, no, I don't want to be a teacher because I've seen teachers' life. They don't sleep all night preparing lessons. Now he says, no, I won't be a teacher. I'll go into corporate field. And I say, Jagir, 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 Jagir. Ja, go, and gir, fall down. Jagir. What is Jagir? Ja, go, and fall down. Become someone's slave, right? Sorry, it doesn't mean I'm just improvising the meaning to make you understand why jobs are not a good idea. Okay. Now, some people think that talent is born. The born talents don't change the society. Child prodigy. Have you seen some shows in Western television like Jimmy Fallon? Who is that guy who brings small children and interviews them? Jimmy Fallon, I guess. I forgot his name. There's a show of English guy who brings young, cute children who are very extra talented. And you see their show interview, right? Child prodigies. They don't outshine. Most of them, they fade away. Toppers. They don't do much. Okay. Why? Because toppers are book smart. Troublemakers are street smart. Book smart versus street smart. Class bunk गर्ने, टिचरलाई हैरानी खुवाउने, स्कुललाई रुवाउने, सडकमा घुम्ने, they will do better than book smart because they know the world. It's better to know the world than know the book. It's better to have experience of life than experience of reading books. Though I'm sorry to say, I'm not discouraging it. You should also read the books, because every book is the life blood of its writer. Books are not born out of dream. A writer spends 50, 60 years experience writing a book. A writer spends his life experience writing a book. So, do not devalue reading. Okay. I stop here. Will somebody present tomorrow? Okay, we'll listen to you. So, other presenters also who are absent, please let them know that Divakar sir taught the lesson today because you didn't come to class. Who was to present today? Huh? Who was given to present today? The presenter didn't come, so I took up the lesson. Please tell them that if you do not present, you will lose 10 marks at least. And Divakar sir was waiting for you.